Hey guys, in this lick I'm going to start taking things outside just a little touch. I'm going to be doing that using something called the Lydian Dominant mode. The Lydian Dominant is a mode of melodic minor. It's the fourth mode and it has this formula. So we have a root note, major second, major third. This is the juicy interval right here. An augmented fourth and a perfect fifth, major sixth, minor seven. Okay, so hopefully you can see we've got our chord tones there from the seventh chord. We've got our root, our third, a fifth, and our flat seven to give us our seven. But on top of that, we've got this major second, which is a chord tone, is the ninth. We've got this sixth, which is a 13th. But the one that stands out is this augmented fourth or augmented 11th, if I'm thinking of it in terms as an extended chord tone. You know, so the overall harmony there, you can play like 13 sharp 11 chords, or you could, you know, just like a 7 sharp 11, 9 sharp 11. All these kind of lovely chords. So you hear players, particularly bluesy players who verge into kind of jazzy sounds like Robin Ford and Larry Carlton will use it quite a bit, Scott Henderson, those sort of guys. But you hear it in, you know, Vai's used it and other people as well. You can crop up in other kind of genres too. And it gives us this really interesting sound. Traditionally, people tend to play over what's known as non-functioning dominance, so that's kind of like 7 chords that would just kind of stay where they are, or they won't resolve to like a upper fourth, you know. But you could use it, I mean, a great place to use them is if you're playing a blues, say it was a blues in A, just before you get to the D7 chord, you could use it to create a little bit of outside tension that then resolves when you go back to the D, and that is essentially a functioning dominant. So you can use it where you want to kind of just go out and then come back in a little bit, and that's kind of what we're doing here. We're just going to bend the ear a little bit with this augmented fourth. Now interestingly, if you just think that interval, just looking at the shape of it in the guitar, it's the same sound as your little flat 5 when you play a blues scale. So that's an interesting thing, that it's kind of got that little hook into the bluesy sound, but surrounded by the kind of dominant seventh. Okay. Now what I actually do when I start off this lick is I kind of tease the listener a little bit, in the sense that I play something that could easily be interpreted as, you know, it could be Lydian Dominant, or it could be this kind of blues scale, like a pentatonic minor with a flat 5. And how I do that is I start off just by playing 7th fret of the G string there with the third finger, and I cut it short. Then I'm going to do this, and what I'm doing here is I'm doing a hammer on 5 to 6. So I'm kind of playing about with this minor third to major third thing. You know, so it's a pentatonic minor, is it, you know, a Lydian Dominant, what is it? Then I play 7 in the D string with the third finger, and then 7 in the A string with the second finger. Okay. Most players, or other players maybe, might want to bar that with the third finger. I tend to avoid barring, that's why I play it with the third and second. Next little sequence goes like this. So what I'm going to do is do a hammer and pull off 5 to 7 to 5 on the D string. First the third finger and back to first. Then I'm going to do hammer on from 6 to 7 on the A string, and that is me bringing in that sharp 4, sharp 11 sound right there. Or is that flat 5? It doesn't really matter. Hammer on to the 7th fret, then I play 5, 7 in the D string. Okay, so together with the first bit it goes like this. Now for the next sequence I'm going to tap into a little bit of the harmony of Lydian Dominant, and what I'm going to be doing here is effectively playing augmented triads and major triads. Now if you look at the harmony of Lydian Dominant, you've got augmented triads kind of built off like the flat 7, the 9th, and the sharp 4. That's because your augmented triad, which is like a root, major thirds, and then sharp 5, is basically stacked major thirds. So every time you move a major third distance, you're playing another inversion of it. So it's this kind of symmetry of this thing. And what I'm actually going to be doing, if I talk about how it connects with the first bit in a second, is I'm going to be doing like a augmented triad here off the sharp 4. Then I do a major triad here off that root note, and then I play the whole thing up an octave basically. So I get to this by playing 5th fret of the A string. That's the very last note of the previous bar, and that's going to hammer onto the 6 So the rhythm kind of changes here. We've been playing even 16ths before, now it goes to triplets. So when you're playing these triads, think of little groups of 3. Think of a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... So this hammer's on 5, and then 6th fret of the A string I play with the 2nd finger. And then I play 5, 9 on the D string with the 1st to 4th finger there. I'll probably do that downstroke and upstroke on the D string there. Then I continue and I play a major triad here, so my 3rd, 2nd and 1st fingers are just going to play 7 on the D, 6 on the G, 5 on the B. And if I was using my economy picking, I'd play that all with downstrokes. You can pick however you want, you may want to alternate pick it. Yeah. So that's that little bit. As I said, I play that up an octave. So now what I'm going to do is play my augmented 11th interval here at the 8th fret of the G string with the 2nd finger. Then I play 8th fret of the B with the 3rd. And then I play 1st finger at the 7th fret of the high E there. So that's my other little augmented triad. Then I finish it off with a major triad, A major triad here. 10th fret of the B string, 2nd finger. And then 9th fret of the high E string with the 1st finger. And then 12th fret. Yeah. Picking wise, I probably do some combination of like up, down, down, up there. Don't worry about it too much, just as long as what you're picking is nice and comfortable. As I said, you could alternate pick all of this. So that whole sequence goes like this. It's a very familiar kind of sequence. It feels as if it's going somewhere because of the, you know, this tension, and then kind of resolution, tension, resolution. You know, so you're expecting some tension and it's then going to ultimately resolve here. And this is what we do. The next little bit goes like this. So what I'm doing here is just playing down the Lydian Dominant scale. So from here, I've got my little augmented 4th here, or augmented 11th. And what I'm going to do is play this little hammer and 2 pull-off sequence. So I play 11, 3rd finger, hammer to 12 with the 4th, pull off, and then pull off to 9 with the 1st. And that's like 4 notes all in a row there. And then what I'm going to do is play 12, 10 on the B string, 4th finger to 2nd finger. And my 1st finger plays 8th fret. And then what I'm going to do is slide back. And that there's my flat 7 interval. So it's all Lydian Dominant there. Then I'm going to do a pull off 8 to 7. So I use my 2nd to 1st finger. And then I go down the scale, I do 9, 8, 6 on the G string here. And then 9, 7 on the D string. As you can see I use 4, 3, 1, 4, 2 for that. Now, picking wise again, just go with whatever feels natural. I'm probably using another combination of economy here. Yeah. Okay, so that's my last little sequence. And it kind of cuts short just to kind of give it a slightly unorthodox kind of ending, I suppose. Okay, and you see that first bit there, as I said, that's kind of 30-second notes, so it's a little bit quicker. Okay, so the whole thing's slow, goes like this.